Hi, welcome to Go Tell Mom. I'm Dianna Kelly, and I've been momming for several decades, including tending my fur babies, kids I gave birth to, kids I mentored as a broadcaster and college instructor, my kids' friends, and my friends. I'm not a psychologist or doctor, but I do know how to dig up advice from those who are, and that's what I'll share with you. If you have something to share with me, remark, comment, question, please comment below. One of the things they don't tell you about motherhood is that you're constantly on the move. That doesn't mean you're getting exercise. In fact, I remember my mom doing family ironing while watching soap operas on TV, sitting on the couch. I'd be writing show prep for radio while keeping an eye on my kids doing their homework. That's not to say you don't get a workout of sorts, hauling in groceries or vacuuming the house, but if you were used to doing a regular gym routine, there's an excellent chance the Rugrats will be derailing that train. Okay, so maybe that 45-minute daily spin class is not realistic anymore. That doesn't mean you can't keep your muscles in shape. In fact, UCLA Health says that research shows short, intense workouts are beneficial. The current exercise recommendations for adults are 150 minutes of moderate activity or 75 minutes of intense activity per week. But they don't specify how or when. Running, lifting weights, stretching, they're all part of keeping fit. In fact, studies show even 2-minute bursts of intense exercise, such as powering up a flight of stairs or sprinting the last few hundred yards to a destination, are associated with measurable health benefits. Use your own staircase if you have one. I do. Or maybe park at the far end of the parking lot and walk all the way to the mall or shopping center. Calm.com says forget the idea that exercise only counts if it makes you collapse in a pool of sweat. They suggest doing lunges while you're waiting for your coffee to brew. Knock out a plank before brushing your teeth. Every little bit adds up. Take work calls, catch up with a friend, or listen to your favorite podcast while walking around the block. Do squats while your kid's watching Bluey for the 57th time. Your sneaky workout doesn't have to be burpees or sit-ups. Blast music, grab your kids, and dance like a maniac. It's cardio, it's core work, and it's guaranteed to make everybody laugh. Some days your workout is a 5-minute stretch before you go to bed. Other days, you might squeeze in a full body circuit while the baby naps. That's still exercise, pal. Sunshine Gym suggests doing lunch break workouts, starting with 15 reps of squats, yoga poses, and hand weight lunge shoulder presses. If you're the flexible type, and fair warning, I'm not, but you might be, try a few yoga poses to stretch out the back kinks. I do have an 8-pound dumbbell in my office on my bookcase, and when I'm waiting for something to upload or download for work, I multitask by doing curls. Hey, whatever works for you. Even a short workout before the household wakes up can be a peaceful, interruption-free session. Just make sure the dogs are still sleeping, or I guarantee they'll think it's a fun new game that you invented just for them. I'm back with
Sheri Waltz,
who is my co-host here on Go Tell Mom. And we're talking about, well, we both sort of do a little bit of exercising when we're not doing our mom thing or our teaching thing. And sometimes it's planned, sometimes it's more organic. At least my exercising these days is more organic. Yours is a little bit more structured, isn't it?
usually.
Yeah. So what do you usually do for your workout?
So like everything in life, it comes in waves, right? So there are times where I can focus more on it and times where I can't. And so lately, right now, I'm doing nothing other than walking. So that's really all I'm doing.
But that's good. Walking is very healthy.
I know. I try to walk in 2 days a week in the morning at home, and then I walk 2 days a week with one of my coworkers.
Yeah.
And so I walk here on campus. But in other phases of my life, so like last year, I really planned and I worked out. So I planned my teaching schedule, being able to work out in the morning, because I like to work out in the morning. I'm not an afternoon workout person.
Yeah.
And that worked out really well. So I had a gym that I go to, and I would...
That's cool.
Sometimes I'd hire a personal trainer. Sometimes I wouldn't. It would just kind of depend on,
Yeah.
things like money and time and,
I understand how that goes.
Yeah.
That's the hard part, is trying to budget time for yourself for doing something like exercise, which is really kind of important to,
Yes.
Keep your, as I've discovered, keeping your joints working and everything else,
Yeah.
But also it's important not to overdo when you're when you're working out too, because
Yes.
I discovered that I joined a gym. There was one piece of equipment that I felt very, very comfortable on, and that was the thing I'd do reps on that. I'd go off and do something that I didn't enjoy as much, that I didn't feel as comfortable with. Then I'd come back and do more reps on that. And then the gym, there was no way of being able to tweak it or change it, or, it was something that they automatically did in-house, that they would do their settings, and everything was locked up, so you couldn't change the settings. And I decided I was going to be vigilant anyway and try to do it. And I blew out my knee doing it. So I stopped going to the gym, and I just started doing my exercises around the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard when you get hurt. Long time ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was doing kickboxing religiously. I loved doing that. I loved it. It was so much fun. But then I got plantar fasciitis, and that sidelined me for at least a year, maybe 2. I mean, that was a long haul to get rid of that.
Now, how do you get rid of that?
I mean, I had this hard softball that I'd have to roll my foot on. It was the most painful thing I've ever done in my life. I had to freeze water bottles, and I had to roll on that. And then I had to wear certain kinds of shoes. Like, they had to be shoes that didn't bend. So I would go like my tennis shoes couldn't bend. Like, you go and your toes bend up. You couldn't have those. They had to be rigid. And I don't know. And those all worked. And so about, like I said, it was maybe a year or 2. I can't remember exactly, before I could get back into working out, because that really sidelines you. Like we watch, football over the weekend, and you see those athletes get hurt, and then, and they're sidelined. And I know that they certainly have money and trainers and stuff that assist them, but still, they you can see why, they get hurt, and then they're out for the season or whatever that looks like. It's like, because it takes time to recuperate, and you really can't speed it up.
No, you really can't. I mean, I went to a physical therapist for like a month to, which for me is a long time. It's like, okay. And they had specific exercises I was supposed to do in between my visits.
Right.
It was painful, especially when the dog was trying to jump on me when I was doing some. I'm not kidding. Literally, my dog this isn't right. You're supposed to be stretched out on the couch, not lifting your leg and doing all this other stuff. And I'm like, well, this is reality for right now,
Right.
And then once you've gone through the therapy, you try not to let it slide, so that you're not back in the same shape you were in before, which is really hard. And I think that's true of any kind of workout that you do. If you get yourself into a routine and then you break that routine for whatever reason.
Yep, that's where I'm at now. I broke the routine of working out, and now I'm struggling to get back on it.
But when you're doing walks, I mean, that to me is I won't say the easiest way to get back into it, but at least you're doing something.
Yes. Yeah. I know. But I really enjoy lifting weights. I wish I had found that earlier, because I didn't find it till I was an adult, till my kids were grown.
Yeah.
But I really, really enjoy it. It's fun. I like to track how much, I can lift. I like to do the different exercises. I really enjoy it. And that's the funny thing. It's like, I enjoy it. Why don't I go? It's like that rub, right? I don't know. So I need to get back in it.
Do you have weights at home?
No, I don't. I don't work out at home, other than walking, of course, but like working out, lifting weights. I've considered it before. I definitely, at home, I like to relax. I don't know. I kind of have like that split personality. Like I have like, these are the things I do at home.
Because you're very, very disciplined when it comes to work at home and work at work. And, so.
And so I just don't. I like going to a gym. I have always enjoyed working out with other people. Like I've always loved even like when I was in high school, I would do all the classes, of course, then it was like all the step classes, all that was popular back then. But I've always loved doing classes and going to a gym and kind of meeting people and just that social aspect of it.
Yep.
So no, I don't work out at home. I never have.
See, For me, first thing in the morning, as soon as the alarm goes off, I'm hitting the alarm, I'm getting up, and I'm doing, like, I've got these kind of exercises that I do where it's not really push-ups, but it's like my dresser push-ups is what I call it, where I'm doing that before I even am completely awake.
Okay.
So then I'm not bothered by it as much. Okay, I'm trying to think of how to put that. But, and then I'm doing my squats, like, I go from that into my squats. And like I said, this is in the dark. I know this is really weird, but yeah, I'm doing it in the dark. So I'm not completely awake. So this isn't going to bother me if I'm not completely awake.
I used to try doing some Tai Chi. I found it like on a Facebook group that I was on, and I would try that. It's only 5 minutes of stretching a day, but I just can't. I don't know. Maybe I should try doing it as soon as I wake up. I don't know. I've never tried that before.
Well, before I even get out of bed, though, I'm doing things with my hands because my hands get stiff.
Okay, yeah.
But they also say that that's good for your heart to start off there because your hand is connected, the veins or whatever, the arteries. I'm not a medicine person, but it's connected. So if you're doing those kind of exercises, it's getting your blood pumping almost in a stretching way.
Oh.
So yeah, by stretching your hands or whatever and, clenching them and unclenching them and that kind of thing, it's really supposed to be. So that's the first thing I do.
Okay.
And of course the dogs are one eye opening. What are you doing, Mom? And
that crazy lady's doing stuff again.
Exactly. And then I do my other little exercises and I'll do my extending the arms things and that kind of thing before I turn the lights on.
Well, I should try it. I'm going to try that. I don't know. I haven't done that. I always just try to do it. I was trying to do it when I was watching TV. But again, I just feel like at that moment in my life, at that time of the day, I want to sit. I don't want to do exercises while I watch TV. I'm done with the day, and I want to just sit there and do nothing. Yeah. That's why I'm always a morning workout person because that's why when I do go to the gym, I get up in the morning, I go to the gym, I come home, take a shower, and then I come to work. And that's why I try 2 days a week not to teach before 11 so that I have time to go to the gym and then do that and then come to work. But
Well, I understand that. I mean, I have my walk at the end of the day. I mean, I literally drop everything on my kitchen counter. I grab the leashes, grab the dogs, we're out the door and walking around the neighborhood. And that's my end of the day. And it kind of decompresses me.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's exercise.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like if I'm doing 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the afternoon or at the end of the day, that's still 30 minutes.
Right.
I mean, it's 30 minutes of exercise. So that's I always look at it like, okay, this is great. Now, granted, some of that 15 minutes is the dog sniffing at things.
Well, it's all like, don't they say like sitting is like the worst thing for you? That's why when I teach, I don't ever sit down.
Yeah.
So, and it's not that I have any rule against it. Like, I don't think that you're unprofessional if you sit. It's just like, I'm going to be standing for that hour and 20 minutes and I'm going to be moving around the classroom because it's activity.
Yeah.
And
it's good for you.
It's good for you. Yeah. So that's why it's like, I'm like, I don't sit. I stand for the whole class. Yeah. And
I'll do that. I think the only time I sit is like if they're working on a project or something like that. But even then, no, I'm usually on my feet. Yeah.
I was going to say, I stand on my feet. I'm not saying I don't get on my phone and I don't look at like TikTok while they're doing a project, but I don't sit. I just stand. I stand in the corner and I just figure like it's just better.
Yeah.
Like, so.
Yeah. And it is. I mean, it really is. Because, I mean, I can tell on the days I'm teaching as opposed to my weekends, it's like I feel stiffer on the weekends.
Yes, because you just don't move. You just don't do anything.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, unless I've been gardening. And if I've been gardening, then it's completely. And that's a good exercise, too.
It is.
People
it's
don't
really
realize
good.
That. Yeah.
I didn't garden this year. I didn't have a garden.
You're on 3 acres. You don't have a garden?
I usually do. I just didn't this year. I bought all the stuff. I never planted it. They all died in my driveway. Okay. And they're still sitting there. It's been, I bought them in April.
I do understand that. Yeah.
I need to go and throw them all away. But no, I just never got around to it. We had some work done on the house and I missed that little window to plant them. And, when they're in those stupid little pots, you have to water them every day or they die quickly. And I just didn't, and I just... got busy and...
Totally get it.
And so...
Totally get it. Okay, worst kind of exercises to do.
Sit-ups,
My
push-ups.
gosh, I won't do those. Like I said, my push-ups are my dresser push-ups. That's all I can do. No, mostly because my feet, in this part of my life, my feet ache if I try to do too much with them. And when people say, oh yeah, do planks, I'm like, you're out of your mind. There's no way I'm going to do something like that,
Anything with my wrists.
Yes,
My wrists are the
yes.
things, all my friends were, of course, yoga's comes and goes, but yoga's always been pretty big. And they're always like, come do yoga. And I'm like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I can't hold my weight on my wrist. They're always
No.
like, well, you'll get stronger. And it hurts.
Yeah,
It hurts.
exactly.
It hurts bad. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. So I don't do anything that has with my wrists.
Yeah, I try to avoid that too. But I mean, like I said, this doesn't bother me as much because, yes, I'm kind of putting my full weight on it, but it's not like I'm collapsing essentially
yes.
on my wrists.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying.
I just stay away from those. I don't know, but I really like, pretty much anything. I mean, there are certain things I don't really love. Like I don't really like Bulgarian split squats. I do them. I don't really.
What?
It's when you put your one leg up, and then one leg is straight on the chair, and then you squat down. And
no, that's not happening.
I mean, I do them. I don't really like
Yeah.
them, but I do them.
I'll go up and down my stairs if I know it's like, okay, I've been kind of a couch potato today.
Yeah.
I'll find things up, I'll like one basket of laundry at a time, and I only fill it halfway, and then I come back down and get another one. And of course, one of my dogs can climb stairs, and he thinks this is the greatest game ever. So I mean, he's up on my heels, and then he's turning around and he's bringing a toy with him. Like, you're gonna throw this, aren't you? And yeah, I mean, I'm like, okay, I'll consider this part of my exercise. I'm gonna throw the toy for you, and then he grabs the toy and comes racing after me, and we go back downstairs, and I come up with another basket.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, you could do a lot of stuff at home. Like when I quilt, my sewing machine's upstairs, but the ironing board is downstairs.
Right.
And my husband is always like, why don't you just take it upstairs? I said, because I will be sitting all day quilting. Like I'll sit, but this gets me up to go iron. So I walk down the stairs, I iron, I go back up the stairs, I iron, and he just laughs at me. But I'm like, but if not, I would never sit for 8 hours, but I would if I'm quilting.
Yeah.
And so...
See, I'm like that if I'm writing.
Yeah, and so I need something to get me up and moving and all of that. Because if not, we definitely live a chair-to-chair lifestyle, right? Like I'm laying down, I get up, I sit on the dining room table, I move to the couch, I get in the car, we go eat somewhere, we're sitting down. It's just a lot of sitting.
Yes. Yeah.
Unless I'm purposeful about it.
Yeah. Yeah. Even when the kids were home, it was the same thing. You'd be sitting. It's like, okay, everybody's going to sit down. Kids are going to do their homework. I'm going to do whatever project I'm supposed to be working on. But you're sitting a lot. It's sedentary a lot, unless you do things like, okay, everybody, we're going to go for a walk. Let's go walk the dogs, or let's go visit the neighbors or something like that.
Yeah.
You don't think about doing that purposefully, and we really should as both parents and people.
Yeah, just as people. Because even when they had sports and stuff, I would go and then I would sit and watch them.
Exactly.
So it's like they were getting some activity, but I wasn't.
Yeah.
And so...
except for climbing the bleachers. That's the only thing. And then going down for snacks.
Yes, exactly. Oh, God, I hate bleachers. Those are always terrible.
Never
always
liked
hurt
them.
my back.
Yeah.
Like sitting there for too long.
Yes.
But, yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's something to think about. I do think, you are a planner, so kind of making a plan for yourself to do something like that, like planning your classes at 11 o'clock so that you've got some time in the morning to be able to do your exercises or whatever. I think that's a good thing.
Right. Well, when the kids were little, I couldn't do that because I would have to be home by the time they got home from school.
Exactly.
So now it's different. But when they were little, then I would just work out in the morning.
Yeah.
And just get up early. But I'm a morning person, but I certainly am a morning person who I don't like to have to do something in the morning.
Right,
but I'm always up. I'm always up at 5:30. But getting up at 5:30 to do nothing versus getting up at 5:30 to go to the gym is a completely different.
It definitely is. Yeah. I get up at... Now I'm getting up at 4:30 again. Okay. Because I got an 8 o'clock class.
Okay.
So it's like the walk gets done and all of my chores get done so that when I come home at the end of the day, I can take the walk and then just kind of chill.
Right.
And then go water the garden or whatever else I'm doing. There's always something. But I also think that it's important to take some you time, have some you time planned for yourself. When you're planning a workout routine or planning a schedule, I'd like to know how you find places that have classes.
So, well, mostly I find them close to where I live, so in my city, and I find a lot of the churches in my town have free classes. So I have done Zumba, I have done pound classes, I can't think of what the other name of the classes that I've done. And
not yoga.
Well, I've done lots of yoga classes. I just don't enjoy them. I don't usually come back to them.
Right.
Just because I always try. I try them, but they just always hurt my wrists.
Yeah.
So normally I'm just looking for, Facebook is still good for old people finding old things to do.
So people finding stuff to do too.
So I still use Facebook a lot to find them, and I look around for them. But the gym that I belong to, the one that I belong to, does not have classes. It is strictly equipment based. So it's just equipment, and I just go there. But I used to go to a free kickboxing class that then got me into it, and then I paid for a membership. It was a place called 9 Round. I don't know if they're in business still anymore or not, but it was like a gym membership, but it was all kickboxing. So I do pay for classes sometimes, but I usually try to find free ones.
Yeah.
Again, for me, I just do it for movement. Like I'm not doing it necessarily to lose weight or anything. Yeah. I just like to go, and I like to be social, and I like to just get out of the house. And so I don't know. I've always been able to find it. And then when my kids were younger, we used to find walking groups.
Oh, yeah.
So like on Facebook, they would meet at the high school on Saturdays in the morning, and I would go. Sometimes the kids would come with me, and they would also have their kids there, Yeah. Other times they wouldn't. So I don't know. I don't know. I find a lot of stuff through social media.
And of course, there's always the Y, or there's always the Civic Center.
Yes.
They always have classes that are posted. And a lot of times you don't need to have a membership to be part of the class, which is
right.
Cool.
Yeah. Like the pound class that I would do in town is at another gym, but you don't have to have a membership to their gym to go to the pound class. And then it's just by donation. Yeah. And so, so you can give her a tip if you want to. And I usually do, but it's much cheaper than owning a second gym membership or, to do something else.
And they get expensive, those gym memberships too, especially if you're not using them.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. They can be. And some of the class ones can be really expensive, like the gyms that do classes. We have one in town that does that. And I priced it out one time. It was going to cost me like $100 a month. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't know. That's kind of pricey.
Yeah.
And especially because my track record is not consistent, then I was like, I'll pay $100 a month. On the months that I use it, probably no big deal.
But on the months that
I don't, then I was like, oh, that's just kind of pricey. So I don't know. I always just find things to do. Sometimes I do it with friends. Most of the time I just do it by myself. I'm not, I don't have any qualms about showing up places where I don't know anybody. Doesn't bother me at all.
Yep. I'm kind of that way myself. So just as long as you're consistent. I mean, that's the thing, if you really, really want to keep your energy level up, and that's kind of what we do it for, but also the social aspect's important as well.
Yeah. That's why I do it. I just do it to get out of the house. And that's why, like, when the kids were little, that was my time to, granted, I still had a job, but that was my opportunity just to socialize, but also to kill two birds with one stone, because I had kids and I had limited time and I was driving them places and I was doing things. Yeah. And so it was always like, I had to make use of the time the best I could. So like a lot of times, like they were in marching band. So a lot of the moms, we would drop our kids off and then we would just walk the track while they were doing band.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah. So it was I just tried to find opportunities where I could.
And it makes you feel so much better when you're done too. There's that feeling of accomplishment.
Yes.
Like, I did it.
I did that.
Yeah.
I did that. Look at me. I did that. And yes, and it does. It makes me feel good. That's why I like lifting weights, is because I feel like, oh, look at that. Look at how much I lifted today.
I have weights in my dining room on my bookcase there. I won't tell you the last time I used them. But
like I said, I think we have to give ourselves a pass. I think that life is never the same. And I think when we get too roped into this is, I can't believe I didn't do this or I should be doing that, I think it takes the fun out of life, and you just have to roll with what's in front of you. There'll be time for those types of things, and other times there's no time for it. And you just, it is what it is, and it's okay.
You can only do what you can do.
Yep.
I'm Dianna Kelly. She's Sheri Waltz. This is Go Tell Mom. Thanks Thanks for sharing this episode of Go Tell Mom with us, Dianna Kelly and Sheri Waltz. We focus on the kind of things you might share with your mom, or tell about your mom, or maybe not. If you have something you'd like to share or comment on, please click on our comment section. See you next time with Go Tell Mom.